probably not what you want to hear. You probably want to hear all this like endless list of wellness techniques that I have. You know, I don't get stressed that easily, but I can start to feel the sensation of being a bit overwhelmed before I start a job, and then once I start it, I'm like, oh, this is what you do, and it's fine. That is really far. That's so dark. Oh God.
Yeah. Welcome to the Restorative Force podcast, where we believe that it should feel good to be human. Modern life is fast-paced and often unforgiving. It stresses our minds, bodies, and the planet more than it needs to. So through conversations and ideas, our aim is to uncover the roadmap for shifting unsustainable cultures at pace for both personal and planetary well-being. So take a deep breath and join me, Hannah Pang, as we explore the path towards restoration and regeneration for ourselves and the world around us. Welcome to the Restorative Force podcast. My name's Hannah Pang, and today I'm here with Jamie Dornan, who you will know from shows like The Tourist and The Fall, and from films like Belfast, A Haunting in Venice, and the infamous 50 Shades of Grey. So Jamie, thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
So our podcast is all about uncovering the wellness practices, tips and tricks, rituals of people who are at the top of their industries, at the top of their game, the high performers of the world. So as a very broad intro question, as the successful actor you are, what are some of the daily wellness practices that keep you performing to the level that you do?
They probably change a lot, to be honest with you, Hannah. Like I you know, you go through different phases in your life, don't you, where you're sort of treating yourself better, maybe, or not. And I'm probably much more conscious, like we all are these days, about, you know, well-being and our own sort of personal health. I also have 3 kids under the age of 10 or under the age of 11, and their wellness is kind of more crucial to me.
That's the priority.
Than mine. Yeah, and I often sort of put my own wellness aside for them. And that's almost like a time thing as well. You know, we get up in the morning and it's madness in our kitchen whilst we get these 3 people ready for school and fed and watered. And the right shoes on, the right bag, the football boots, the ballet kit, whatever it is, like putting all that together. And then sometimes you leave the door and realize that you have not even had like a sip of water yourself, any food, a coffee, tea, nothing, and you're suddenly on the school run, like kind of already exhausted.
Yes.
And you've only been up for like an hour and a half. But I tell you what we did recently, just before Christmas, we put about 6 months ago, we put in a infrared sauna in our sort of house. Mm-hmm. And then just before Christmas, in the same room, we put in a cold plunge.
Oh, nice.
So this very week, I've been every day this week. I've done what I'm trying to do, the Nordic cycle or whatever they call it. So I'm doing like 20 minutes in the heat, and then about 4 minutes in the cold, and we have it set at 4 degrees. So I'm doing, and I do have to say, like, I feel great.
Okay.
Certainly in the immediate aftermath of it, I feel like incredible. What it's doing longevity wise, I have no idea, but like it feels amazing, I have to say. I feel very lucky that we've got this set up in the house now that we can do this. So and then sometimes the timing thing again, if I have a busy day, I don't have time for the sauna, I'll just jump in the cold plunge for a few minutes and I feel pretty great.
Amazing. Yeah. Doesn't have to take long.
No, it doesn't. No, I mean, also you can do it in the shower too, like people, you know, but it's harder to do it in the shower because it's just the way the water's hitting you. It's quite aggressive, and it's sort of, you know, with cold water, it's not a nice way to experience it. Whereas this, you very calmly sort of sink yourself in, and it's still water, and you're just surrounded by it, and you just breathe. And where the way the shower comes out, it's sort of panic inducing, and it's very nature of the way it's coming at you.
Yes.
So, and the same if if you jump in the water, you kind of in cold sea, or you have to sort of move around so much, but like. And I haven't done, since we've had the plunge, I haven't been in like a cold like body of water, like a big body of water. And I don't know if I wonder, will I be able just to sort of just be really calm like I am in this thing? Or will I have to like panic and like try to keep warm? But yeah, I love it. But obviously, I mean, that is a recent thing.
Yeah.
And for, I'm in my 40s, and I many years had no experience like that. And wellness wasn't really particularly in my 20s, wasn't in my consciousness, probably.
Yeah, just the success came naturally.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I think there's lots of examples of people who have taken no care of themselves who have success
This is true.
in lots of realms too. But obviously, for your own mental health and longevity and health, generally, and energy and everything, it pays to look after yourself. But again, everyone's, it's taken a while for the collective to get there, really. I'm sure some people were ahead of the curve, obviously, but I feel now there's collectively more of a thing of like, oh no, you should look after yourself,
Yeah, definitely.
But like, I've always been a very active person. Like I would never have gone through a period of inactivity.
Okay.
Even in my 20s, I was probably like drinking too much and stuff, but I doubt I would have gone a day without exercise, ever.
Yeah.
Really.
And what are your like go-to exercise routines?
That changes too. In my 20s, I ran all the time. I come from quite a sporty background. I guess you could say very sporty at school, and for a couple of years after school, when I first moved to London, I was still playing rugby and I did a couple of half marathons and stuff in my 20s. So I was running a lot. And I probably wasn't sort of lifting weights or doing that sort of stuff, even though my entire 20s, well, most of my 20s, I was a model. I probably should have been at the gym more, but I was just not. I never really took it that seriously, I guess.
Yeah, fair enough.
I didn't really do too much. I did whatever the bare minimum was. But now I'd go to the gym more. I'd sort of, with my job now, and for the last 15 years, whatever, sometimes, I have to get in very good shape for certain roles or whatever, or bigger or slimmer. I'm always having to sort of adapt my regime, I guess, fitness-wise, to suit whatever character I'm playing.
Yeah.
And that sometimes means like pushing heavy things around a lot. And the thing I'm starting soon hasn't been released yet, so I'm probably not allowed to talk about it. But I have to be in pretty good nick for that. So these days I'm in the gym 4 or 5 days a week probably, and then a round of golf if I can sneak it in there as well. Yeah.
Always good for the mental health as well.
Yes.
And good to spend time outdoors.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I spend my life defending golf because people who don't understand it, they really don't understand it. And my argument is like, I like being outside and I like being with my mates and I like a bit of competition. So golf's like a really perfect sport.
Yeah, great.
And as a game, the endless pursuit and challenge of it as an actual game I'll never be bored of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have not gotten into golf myself. I have been to...
Shame on you. You're from Vancouver. There's some good golf up there.
I know. And I've been to Top Golf a couple of times.
I've actually never done that.
I'm not good. I mean, I know I need to practice.
Yeah, it's very hard to be naturally good at golf.
Yes.
I mean, some people are naturally good.
Yeah.
I'm not one of the people, like, at all. I work very hard at it. I'm still pretty rubbish, but I'm obsessed with it. But you just get a couple of lessons.
Yeah.
It is a great thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm definitely not opposed to it. Okay, so back to some of your workout routines for roles. What has been like the most kind of grueling, intense workout situation that you've had to do in order to prepare for a role?
I think probably for all the 50 Shades film, because, I had my top off a lot probably and, had to be, in good nick. I mean, the character was always talking, they were talked in the books about how obsessive he was about fitness and the vanity and and that sort of stuff. So I got that job only like a couple of 4 weeks before we started filming, 5 weeks. So I usually you'd know
Quick
months and months in
turnaround.
advance that you're playing a character like that, and you would act accordingly, and you'd be in the gym every day for those months and months. That was probably a period where I've been surfing a lot, so I must have been decent enough shape, but like I suddenly was like, Jesus, I have to work quite hard here. And that was I remember a lot about the sort of routine of it. We had a baby also 3 days before we started filming our first baby in Vancouver, so it was very mad, life-changing time anyway. And I tried to do it that like any time the baby woke up beside us at night, I would have a protein shake. So it was
Good,
kind of
good
like,
routine to get
yeah,
into.
it was, yeah, and she'd be up a couple of times, and my wife would have to feed her, and I'd be like, oh, it's a good time for me to go. And so we were having I was having really broken sleep the entirety of that first film, and but I was getting a lot of protein in, and I'd sort of get back into my, into our bed. And my wife would be like, "You just smell of like strawberry milkshake." I'm sorry, I don't know what to do. I can brush my teeth after every shake, I guess. Anyway, yeah, it was a lot of that of just trying to put the weight on, because I was probably a bit skinny before.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then they had like a workout trailer, a whole gym trailer for Dakota and I that we could use, as and when, and we had a trainer there, like at our beck and call. So there was a lot of work for that, for like, a lot of physical stuff for that. Yeah,
that sounds like a very intense time.
It was mad. Yeah.
How did you handle it, like from like a mental, emotional standpoint? That's a lot of big changes and not a lot of sleep in a short amount of time.
I don't know. You just muddle through, don't you? I'm a real like I will say this, like, I am someone who I could sleep for 17 minutes on cold external stairs in the snow and I'd be fine the next day.
That's
like, I'm not one of those
impressive.
people who needs like, oh, get your 8 hours sleep, or your, I really am. I'm like, I'm a real, I don't know, this might change the older I get, but my dad was the same, and so I don't think it will change, but I'm a really, like, I can always find energy. Like, I've always got energy. I'm quite hyper energy often, and I've always got this thing where, if I'm after some mad trip and I'm gonna have a layover here, I'm always like, that's fine. I'll be fine, because I don't need that much to have a fulfilled day the next day, or convince myself that I'm okay.
Yeah, that is very lucky.
Yeah, no, I am. No, I do. I realize that. And then sometimes when I'm tired, like, I can't really shut down. I'm like exhausted, but it doesn't happen that often.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
And what about like nutrition and what you eat? Does that affect you at all? Like, how mindful of you are you of what you're eating? And does it change with, different like role preparation?
Yeah, I mean, again, if there's stuff where it often become like I'm either trying to bulk up, put weight on, or I'm not. And if I am, then it's like shakes, and then it's brown rice and, grilled chicken and broccoli and stuff. And it's not that exciting. But no, like, I have to admit, I'm not someone who's ever super conscious about what they eat. I probably should be more, but I eat pretty well anyway. We as a family, and my wife and I as a couple would eat well, I guess. And I guess, from one to another way, like, we're in a nice, economically, we're in a nice position where we can buy very nice produce from very nice places, and know that meat has come from this farm. We live in the Cotswolds, we live in the countryside for 7 years, and we're literally getting our meat and vegetables for everything come
next
from
door.
Like, honestly, like, our milk literally came from the neighbor next door and stuff, in little glass bottles. I'd hear him like tinkling around outside. So I think we're kind of lucky there that I feel like we do eat well, but also, like, because since we've been back in London, like, I'm a big fan of Deliveroo, and but I know I have a very high metabolism. I always have. I know that's a fortunate thing. I feel very lucky there. I'm someone who'd really struggle to put on weight. Like, I really would have to work very hard. Like, if I was not training, if I wasn't going to gym and I was like drinking Guinness all day and eating ice cream, I know this is probably tough for people here, but I would lose weight.
Yeah.
I have to work very hard to keep like muscle mass on and stuff. And I find that really annoying thing in my life, I have to say. I'm someone who's always felt like the skinny kid wanting to be bigger. So but I know most people are like, oh, fuck you. That's like the dream. So yeah, I know I have a very high metabolism, so I know I can get away with sometimes when I just want 36 chicken wings and like truffle fries and
great.
like, big 2 liter bottle of Coke. Well,
Whatever works for you.
Whatever, I like to pig out sometimes, and I probably should watch what I eat more, but as I say, generally I think I probably eat much better than the average person on the street. I think we give ourselves such a hard time about that, and actually the reality is lots of people eat rubbish all the time.
Totally.
I really don't, comparatively. I
Yeah.
don't think.
Yeah, fair enough.